Well, welcome back again. We have got another video for you here today. The sharp-eyed viewer might notice that I am wearing the same clothes as when I was doing the applesauce video. That's because we're still in the process of it, in fact. But something that you can do when you're doing things like your applesauce, you've got all these beautiful scraps left over, is save them and make apple cider vinegar. Well, considering I have my big container not currently making apple cider vinegar, we're going to go ahead and get some started today as well. So we are going to go ahead and do just that. We're going to get this rolling, and it's going to be a shorter one, but with several updates as it goes along, because this is I don't want to call it time consuming because it doesn't really take a lot of your time doing it, but it does take a lot of time because it needs to ferment. So let's get started on that. Okay, so the first thing that's most important when you're doing vinegar making is you need the appropriate kind of container. You want something that's going to not react to the acid that's forming. So you either want glass or ceramic or earthenware or something of that nature, okay? I've got this nice big glass jug that works pretty well for it. Okay, so however big your container is, you're going to take your apple scraps and you're just going to start stuffing them in there. So this is the cores and the peels from when we were peeling and coring our apples to make applesauce. And it's just all of it together. Doesn't matter if it's discolored. In fact, that'll actually kind of help the color of the vinegar at the end. Help make it a little bit more goldenish. You don't need to like pack it down. Just trying to get it in, you know. 'Cause you need plenty to flavor up your vinegar. Of course, these long peels are kind of a pain in the butt to use too, because they're so long. They're just kind of a hassle. Okay, I'm getting mostly peels, so I'm getting some of these cores out too. There we go. That looks good. It's about half full. That half full is where we want it. And now the rest of these we'll take and freeze and then use for batches of vinegar later. Because this is going to take a few weeks. So I'm going to be doing this for quite some time. Now, this is a 2-gallon jug. Now I'm adding some sugar to it. That's 1.5 cups, minus the little bit that I spilled. Because what you want to do is add a little bit of sugar to it at a rate of about 1 tablespoon per cup of water that you're going to add. If you do the math, you'll know that that's not quite right, because I said this is a 2-gallon container, and so that should mean this would be 2 cups of sugar. But it's the amount of water you're going to add, not the total volume. So now I'm just using straight from my tap, kind of. It's a little cool actually. You don't want it hot, but you don't want it cold. And But yeah, anyway, you don't want it too hot, but you don't want it too cold. And you also don't want to add too much sugar, because the thing is as your vinegar starts to mature and ferment, the things that do the fermenting will eventually be killed off by the acidity. So if you put too much sugar in, you'd think, oh, if I add more sugar, it'll help feed the things that are doing the fermenting. Well, to a degree, because once those things are dead, if there's a bunch of sugar left over, you're going to have this kind of weirdly sweet but acidic vinegar. So you don't really want to do that. So that's why you want to be kind of careful how much sugar you're adding. You also want to be careful how much water you add to your container. Because this will, you want all your apples to be covered so they don't mold, because that's going to be not the kind of bacteria we want growing on it. But we also want it to have room to expand, because it will do some of that too. So we're going to go ahead and stop it right there. Ugh. Nice heavy container for me. Okay. So, I forgot to grab my spoon to start with. So we got that now. We're going to give that a little bit of a stir. Actually focus in on the thing that we're trying to focus in on here. Okay, let's try adding just a little bit more water. There we go. Then as all that gets saturated too, it'll sink a little bit. So then what we're going to do too, and this is an optional step. So this is when I have to buy apple cider vinegar, this is what I get. Good old Costco. What we're going to just do, and this is something I haven't tried before when I've made apple cider vinegar, but reading a little bit again, it's something I've seen people say you can do, so we're going to try it, see if it affects things any. And just a little splash of it, because it's already got some of the culture in it, so that should hopefully kickstart things. So then what we're going to do is we're going to cover this with a breathable top, so I'm going to use a coffee filter specifically and just kind of cinch it on with a rubber band, and then we're going to let this sit for a couple of weeks and do its thing, and then we'll check back in on it later. So that's it for right now with the apple cider vinegar. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time.